I'm Rick Kessler with RVBusiness, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Capital Talk presented by Dicor Products. Joining me is Gregg Fore, also with RVBusiness, and Anthony Wollschlager, president of Dicor Products. I should point out that before joining RVBusiness, Gregg was the president at Dicor. He retired a couple years ago, and that's when Anthony succeeded him. Anthony, Gregg, welcome to the program. And on behalf of Gregg, Anthony, we both want to thank you for having Dicor presenting this Capital Talk video series.
No problem. Thanks very much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. So first question for you, Anthony. As we're sitting here, we seem to be on the tail end of this pandemic, but I'm just curious how it affected Dicor. And I'm assuming Gregg left you the pandemic playbook somewhere.
In his top right drawer of where I'm sitting today, yes. Obviously, the pandemic created a lot of challenges for all businesses, whether you're an OEM, aftermarket distributor, dealer, or a supplier. It was a challenging time. And obviously, we were focused on what will the future bring. We managed through the pandemic in 15-minute intervals, given it was such a challenging time and things changed so quickly. In the end, I think we learned a lot through that process. And then secondly, I think we're better because of it. Happy that it's over, though, and looking forward now to a strong late spring, early summer here for us as an industry.
Anthony, this is Gregg. A couple of things. One is, we hear the groundswell of startup, and that means different things for different people, obviously. But the industry, from an OEM standpoint, has been back. I think we're in our third week of startups across, and as it goes across the country, and we still have locations nationwide that are not open. Some in Oregon are not open yet, as an example, but primarily Elkhart's open. So it appears from everything we hear that there's this surge coming, and manufacturers are back at relatively high rates. So what do you feel? Are you feeling a similar surge? Is it still climbing? Is it leveled out? What's going on?
So I think that what we're seeing today from OEMs is reflective of the pent-up demand that was out there from the retail side. Obviously there's been a lot of dialogue over the last couple of years regarding dealers right-sizing inventory. The pandemic hit, people were still buying RVs even at a lower scale. And for those folks that historically had not RV'd before, obviously the RV business and RVs in general created an outlet for them. And so I think what we're seeing right now is pent-up demand, and OEMs are working hard in order to get units to dealers' lots in order to ensure that they have the product to sell when they need it. It's good news, obviously, coming out of a rough April. I think May is a rebuilding month, but I'm expecting a very strong year-over-year comparison when it comes to June and July.
That's good news, Anthony. Thank you. What do you think that means? Well, you just said that. Going forward, you think June and July are going to be back on good measurable comparables to past periods?
I do.
Okay, so do you think demand continues at higher levels? Or do you see it leveling?
I think, from a year-over-year perspective through the third and fourth quarter, I think at this stage, if it's flat with prior year, I would think that would be appropriate. As I mentioned earlier, I think what we're seeing is that surge in retail demand that was pent up, and that's why I'm anticipating a strong June and July. Talking to various OEMs every day, we're seeing different shutdown schedules through July, which we've historically not seen. They're all shorter in nature. Obviously, then as we move into folks making changes for the fall and different products, dealers will look to buy as they historically have, in that second part of the year, in order to get new product on order for their spring season. So Look, I think April obviously was a challenging month for everybody. And short term, we're seeing an influx based on that demand. And for the balance of the year, I wish I had a clear crystal ball, but let's just say I'm a lot more optimistic than I was 30 days ago.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
aren't we all? Anthony, just curious, let me give the floor to you. Anything else that you want to share? And this could be our last question for you.
Yeah, so for Dicor and the different brands that I'm responsible for, which include United Shade, MCD, and Vixen Composites, our continual focus is on product innovation. We pride ourselves in bringing innovative products to the market, whether that be through the OEM channel or whether that be through our distributors and dealers into the retail public. It's critical for us to understand the retail perspective and what's important to them, and then how can we provide products to fit that need. As you mentioned earlier, Gregg was part of this company for a long, long time, and that was Dicor's legacy then, and it will continue to be our legacy and focus moving forward. That's a critical part of our DNA, and that will never leave this company.
Excellent, excellent. Anthony, thank you very much for your time today. I know you got a very important meeting to go to right now. Might involve a gold shirt.
They're all important, you know that.
Well,
thanks very much, everyone.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited that you're partnering with us at Dicor, Anthony, and good things to you and the family going forward. Okay.
Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate the opportunity, and let's have a great second part of this year.